spooky and a dark emptiness, even though that's shining there. Kind of a bit of a bloody mistake, but, you know, what can you do? Programming's hard. I haven't programmed myself, but I have friends who have, and I'm sure I can learn to appreciate it more, but I do understand how difficult it can be to program, at least a little bit. So, oh well. Just gotta go through this creepy, ominous door. There's nothing bad about that. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Oh shit. He's too far gone. I've got to stop him.
This area I like, I'll be honest. I wish there was more like this in the game. Because you had three enemies wandering about and 3 axes, one for each enemy. And in this area you have to hide, find the axe, and kill the enemy. You have to... Oh, by the way, that achievement for not killing anybody in the hotel, you get that achievement when you get from the beginning of basically the beginning of the mission of the game, of the chapter, to the garden, where it was revealed that Ruvik is pretty much in control of Leslie at the moment. But this point I love this part. It's great. You have 3 enemies in set patterns, and you have to go around, avoid them, collect the axe, take them out. It kind of makes me wish there was more games like that. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot, and the game is a little over-punishing. Just hide in the vent. I can't do anything about it. Hide in there for a couple minutes and they go away. I'm sure I could, I'm sure, there's some kind of Hitman game or a replay through a Batman game for this, but it's fine. Huh. But thankfully, he's a little unaware. And as soon as he walks away, get out and smack him in the face. Ask him that question. Covered in delicious jelly. It's supposed to be blood, but it... I mean, Ruvik experimented with basically mutilating people. Ooh, a bottle. He experimented with mutilating people. That cost me getting that axe, I think, maybe. Ooh. So he should know what blood looks like. He basically tortured people. And yet the blood here that spilled on the character from the enemy, it looks like raspberry jam. Kind of disappointing, really, but, you know, what can you do? Besides wait, and wait for the enemy to come back. I don't think you can go through the doors on the side. I never actually tried it. You know, the doors on the side where the enemies came flowing through. You unfortunately can't get through. I think. Pretty sure. Man, this guy's path is a long one. That is a fly I see in my room. That is upsetting. Oh no, there's an enemy. So notice the administrator said how the serum was gonna not protect her, but hide her. And that's what we've been doing for pretty much all of her DLC. He even said, although he said that it's gonna, you're gonna be worse off in the beginning, but better off later on. I interpreted that as you'll have a gun. I think it would have been nice if, like, the last chapter of the 4 were like a big action thing, but you had a couple different guns and you had infinite ammo. Basically, like, hey, the serum's working. And you defy him. You look down and you see like a shotgun in your hand. You're like, oh, cool. And it has like infinite ammo. Basically saying like, oh yeah, you're better off now. But not quite the case. I think I can get him now. Let's give it a try. And oh, dead. All 3 taken care of. We can continue onward. In case this doesn't look familiar, this is the hospital from the beginning of the game. What? Beginning of the game? start in the hospital and you end in the hospital, along with the end of the DLC. Now, where the hell did that guy come from? And really, just closing the door stops him? Never stopped him before.
Answer our questions. What are you afraid of? What could haunt you so? What could you need that only we could be the ones to fill it? Was your waste of life something you wish to return to? Are you not grateful for what we've done for you? We let you into our circle. We gave you a new life. Why will you turn your back on us? Why will you not stand with us?
No! Shut up and get out of the way!
So if you listen to the audio logs, which we'll get to later, the questions he was asking her, like, do you ever feel abandoned by the ones you love and stuff like that, was actually asked to her by somebody else. She was asked that by just some nurse. Well, not just some nurse, but by somebody else. Not an administrator dude, but some lady. Implying that the administrator may not actually exist. That it's implied that he just might be somebody lost in this place latching onto her.
The patients are dying when connected to the machine? What are you implying, Jimenez?
After what you did to him, now all of this is just conjecture. But it's as if Ruben's consciousness remains trapped inside STEM, and he's attacking anyone attempting to enter.
This is inexcusable. We need to get around this. We can't have come all this way for nothing.
Ruvik. He was in STEM all along. Well, he's not gonna get me.
Not gonna get us. Or is he? No, we're fighting our own demons at the moment. Thankfully, Sebastian is keeping Ruvik occupied. Because I guess it's assumed at this point that it's in the later chapters of the main
Why,
game.
Leslie? What makes him special?
Leslie was not always like this. He became catatonic after a traumatic experience as a child. His family was murdered in front of him. The data would suggest that brainwave synchronization with Ruben correlates to specific trauma. In this case, Ruben's own loss of family.
This will not do. We need something else at the core. Something more acceptable to a whole range of people.
Suspiciously dark corner. Would have been cool if there was some kind of figure, shadow person in there. Just a little longer. I'm trying to remember where all the dialogue bits are so I don't overtalk them. A lot of dialogue in this DLC, thankfully. Compared to the main game, unfortunately.
We need someone rational inside STEM. Potentially that person could neutralize Ruben. I mean, Ruvik. With my knowledge of the system, I may be of some...
Absolutely not. We can't afford you complicating this any further. We will prepare one of our own.
Sending someone inexperienced, we can't even be sure they can come back.
Then it will need to be someone expendable.
Expendable. So that's how you see me. And I trusted you.
Spooky, he stays after the premonition. Ooh. So this place has a very familiar layout to somewhere else we've been. And in a moment, we'll see exactly where that is. Nice bathtub there.
What the hell? Where am I now?
We're in the beginning of the main game. A chapter that is both interesting and yet kind of frustrating. Also, if you go in the back there, from the sadist, his place, you'll, there's a collectible there. So that creek must have alerted the dude, because if you remember in the very beginning of the main game, at this point Sebastian kind of had a ran, although he was limping so he couldn't really run. I don't know, it's just, yeah, he's running, but he can't walk because he's got a limp, and yet later on in the game he goes from having a limp with a lack of health to full health, or to reasonable health by relaxing. Oh no! It's kind of annoying. There's a little bit of continuity issue there. But we're not being chased, and the traps aren't activating for us, thankfully. Maybe that's what the administrator meant by being better off. Or maybe not. Maybe that's just a bunch of BS.
Do whatever you want. You're not gonna stop me.
Oh no, we're not gonna stop. In fact, things are gonna ramp up a bit. You remember when we had a handgun? Well, now we're gonna get something more than a handgun. Something that's better and worse in different aspects. We'll see in just a moment what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I want that. So we just need to sneak up on this guy, take him out, and take his sawed-off shotgun, which is considerably stronger than a handgun, and definitely better at stopping enemies because of, you know, the fact that it's a shotgun. But I think it holds one bullet, one shell rather, because it's a shotgun. Shotguns have shells and not bullets. And you can only hold. See, he turns right there. It's a bad thing. You don't want a guy with a shotgun to know you're there. You can hold one in the chamber and 5 to spare, which doesn't make much, especially since there's some combat area kind of coming up here. But damn, does it not feel good to have a gun again? Maybe this is what the administrator meant by you'll be better off, because you'll have a very underpowered weapon with almost no ammo compared to the main character, Sebastian, who has nothing. No serum or anything, and yet has machine guns and rockets. Maybe not. Maybe it's the goo. I'll chalk it up to the goo. But we do have to shoot that thing, which is good and bad because everyone's alerted, and this is a little easier than when we got the handgun, but also kind of difficult. Several enemies, they're going to drop some ammo, which we'll need because we don't have nearly enough ammo to take them all out. Because we have 3 shells and there's 4 of them. And unfortunately he fell down forward, which is not good. Look at that. Flailing. He flailed and it took off he took off like 75% of my health. That's stupid. Rest just to regain my health. They lost me. This is good. This gives me a little bit of a break. Just relax, heal up, wait for them to stop being alerted. To throw a bottle over that way. Thankfully I had an extra bottle. Get them over there. And I hope this guy over here has shotgun shells. Only one. That's 1 each. We have a handgun, but we don't have any bullets for it. And we never get any more bullets for the handgun, which is really aggravating. But although there's something really good about going from throughout the whole game, like I have to hide and be careful, and doing that here, and then like, oh, I don't have to hide and dodge around them. I could just come out and boom, bland them with my shotgun. I like the idea of a sawed-off shotgun. It's pretty cool. Oh, here's a part. This window wasn't here before. This was previously when we went through this area. We're going through it reverse now, but when we went through it the first time, there was a there was a collectible in here in a safe that had combinations. Here's an easy achievement that we could have got earlier, that we did get earlier. But you get an enemy here, along with one of these cadavers, which I think is their name, and they go boom, and they... I feel like that's some kind of glitch in the programming. No ammo, unfortunately. Because one died, exploded, and then the other grabbed onto the enemy. I guess maybe the hitbox was still there, or something. But I feel like that really shouldn't have happened. But hey, you know what? It happened, and that's fine. Oh no, we can't shoot an event because reasons. Although, if we can kill him with a handgun bullet, I'm pretty sure we can kill him with a shotgun bullet. Or shotgun shell, rather. And indeed we can, because later, in a bit, we will. Small spoilers. For like, what, 10 minutes? And then all of a sudden, the vent's different. I like the other vent better, it's nice and clean. Okay, this part sucks. Because enemies will infinitely respawn here. And you just have to run. And also be careful. Because there are parts like this where you have to shoot this guy. Because if you don't, you'll die. Now, in one of these doors, you remember this from the main game. In one of these side doors, a hooded Ruvik-like enemy comes out. Don't hit me. Don't you touch me. Nice. A Ruvik-like enemy comes out. Oh, that's so stupid. That may have cost me my life. Every single time I play through this, I get hurt and die. Or I get hurt, which sucks, because now I have to stumble. Yeah, a Ruvik-like enemy comes through the side, which you might be able to fight off the enemies to get to him. There's not too many. Yeah, that knocked him down, but the other didn't. Oh, gosh. You have to take down the Ruvik enemy, or at least knock him back. And go in there, and there's a collectible item in there. Don't... Oh, you fool. If it knocked him down, I would have been good. See, that's the signal of a Ruvik enemy. Get through that and you're safe. You see the Ruvik enemy over there. Those guys are guys who are very similar to Ruvik in to be able to... You know how Leslie is close mentally and like brainwave lengthwise to Ruvik, close enough to where Ruvik can take over his body. Those guys are very close to Ruben, but not as much as Leslie. Hence why they...
Such a simple mission, but still, you act out. Thankfully for us, there's always a backup plan. Not everything we give you is for your benefit.
The infusion.
What did you put in me?
We needed to know if one of us could survive in the system. But we're not about to risk anyone of value. You were sent to carry us in with you. So here I am.
No. It's Ruvik. He's making all of this.
Oddly enough, there was no insignia on the door there. Quick little save. Need it. Because we're about to encounter the final boss of this game.